Hello there guys, welcome to today's video tutorial. Today I'm going to be walking you through how to download and install this amazing script directly from this website, CodeCanyon.net. So the first thing you want to go ahead to do is to go to the site, CodeCanyon.net, in your preferred browser, and go ahead and search for a particular Flutter script. Uh, Once you're done with that, you're going to be seeing a dashboard like this. Today, I'm going to be walking you through this multi-vendor on-demand service application written in Flutter. This application is going to work for both Android and iOS. So before we get started on the next thing, if you haven't liked, shared, and subscribed to this channel, please do so. All right, so what you want to go ahead to do, the first thing is to read through the documentation. These are the top features of this application. So you see things like service booking in this application. You're going to be able to search for services and so on and so forth. So go ahead and read these documentations, and once you're done with that, you want to go ahead to click on this add to cart button. So once you add this item to cart, you're going to be seeing this is a $49 script, so you're going to be purchasing it at that rate. And once you're done going through the details, you can go ahead and click on this button here, which says go to checkout. So this is going to be a straight procedure. You just have to follow and input the necessary requirements that you're being asked for. And because we have already purchased this script, we are not going to be going through this route and showing you the details of it. So go ahead and click go to checkout, and that is it. So once that is done, the next thing I want to show you guys are the tools and the things you need in order to get started with running your first Flutter program or your first Flutter script. And these things are going to be listed as number one, your IDE, your Flutter SDK, and so on and so forth. So let's get into it. So in order to get started with Flutter, you need something called the Flutter SDK. And in order to get this downloaded and installed, you need to go to the Flutter documentation, which you can find it through docs.flutter.dev/get started/install. So going through this route, we want to go ahead to choose our development platform, which is Windows for my case. In your case, it can be Mac OS or whatever. Then once you choose that, you're going to select your first type of application. Obviously, our Qixer application is an Android application, so I want to go ahead and choose the recommended Android application. Now, in order to start building Flutter with Android and iOS and all that, you need to confirm your system requirement. This is very important. This is a very important step, because if your system doesn't match or meet the requirement, then you're not going to be able to run the script properly on your local machine. So you want to go ahead and check for this. Your Flutter supports developing on 64-bit versions of Windows 10 and 11. Go through the documentation, understand and confirm that your system meets all these requirements. And the next step is to install the Flutter SDK. So there are two main forms or methods of installing the Flutter SDK. You can either use your VS Code if you have it already installed, or you can. Okay, so you go ahead to launch your VS Code, you open the command palette, and you just proceed with this. But today, I'm not going to be showing you how to do this. I'm going to be showing you how to download and install directly from this website. So once you click on this button, the current version of Flutter is 3.32.8. That's a stable version. So what you're going to do is to click on this button, and once you do that, your installation is going to begin automatically. So you can check out the SDK archive if you want to proceed with older versions of Flutter. And once you're done with that, the next procedure says to create a new folder where you can install Flutter directly on your local device. So what you want to go ahead to do is to go to your users folder, and inside the users folder you can create a file name, right? So this is a typical example of what it's going to look like. So you have your user profile, your downloads, and you have your Flutter Windows stable version here. And then this is the new directory that you created under your user profile. So it's called dev. You can call it anything. And then finally, you have your Flutter SDK folder inside of it here. So once that is done, the next thing you want to go ahead to do is to update your Windows path variable. And your Windows path variable, you can just access that by clicking on the command Windows and pause, or any of these commands. And once you're done with that, you open your environment variables. And once that is done, you want to copy this path inside your Flutter SDK you just downloaded. Copy the path, put it in your environment variables, and you're up and ready to go. The next thing we want to go ahead to get is our IDE. So for today, I'm going to be showing you how to get both Visual Studio and Android Studio, and configuring them. You need Android SDK platform, which has API of 35, and every other thing like this. You just need to get it. So let's get started with getting Android Studio. Alright, so getting started with Android Studio, you want to go ahead to go to developer.android.com/studio, where you're going to be seeing Android Studio's official website. And in here, you can see this is the official ID for Android development, Android app development, and the current version is Android Studio Narwhal. Nahel. All right, so you can read through the release notes, get conversant around Android Studio, understand how it works, look into the new features. Everything is just left for you to like look into it and get accustomed to it. So proceeding, you want to go ahead and click on this button. Clicking on this button will automatically pop up these terms and conditions for you to read. Um, so go through the terms and conditions thoroughly and understand everything. Once you've agreed and you've read through these terms and conditions, you can click on this checkbox and this button is going to be visible. Once this button is visible, go ahead to click on this button and your download is going to begin immediately. So after the download, you're going to be seeing some pop-ups and prompts. You follow the pop-ups accordingly, and you're going to successfully install Android Studio on your machine just the way it should be. So finally, we want to go ahead to get our VS Code IDE. And the way you get that is by going to code.visualstudio.com/download. And here you can see there are different types or different options in order to download VS Code. So we're going to be going through this option of Windows because I'm using Windows at the time. And you can see these system configurations here. Uh, is nothing really serious about this, so you just want to go ahead and click on this button here, and then it's going to trigger the download to automatically start up. You don't need to do extra configurations for Visual Studio. It's just set up. What you want to go ahead to do in your Visual Studio directly is installing Flutter again. So yeah, you are done. Let's go ahead to open our multi-vendor on-demand script application. All right, so this is our script and this is how it looks like. Everything is all okay. So we want to go ahead and trigger some um, methods or some commands in order to get started with opening our application. So one of those commands is flutter clean. So I'm just going to go ahead and say flutter clean here. So what Flutter Clean is going to do is uninstall some packages, delete your Dart tools, delete your dependencies, and everything just goes back to red because these dependencies are being deleted. And in order to reinstall them, you just want to go ahead and say flutter pub get just the way it is here on your screen, pub get, and ensure you have internet connection. This is going to resolve the dependencies, reinstall the packages, and do the necessary configurations behind the scene that is needed. So as you can see from my screen, everything is up and running. It looks good. If this is your first time running Flutter, this might take a little bit of time, but you just want to hang on there and let it finish its work. And once that is done, all these errors are going to be gone. You're not going to see them any longer. So basically, you can go ahead and look through the application, how network calls are being made, how the UIs are being configured, and all that. So we're going to be triggering a run command in order to see a demo sample of this application. And in order to run this application, all you need to do is say Flutter run just the way it is here. You just need to say Flutter run. So your application is going to start triggering the build. So it's going to be a debug build. And the next thing is to connect. Before you even do that, try to connect your devices. So you see my device is already connected. So yeah, it's going to be launching now and it's going to be showing now. Okay, so our application is up and running. Very nice UI. This is Qixer, and this is an onboarding screen where you could do a carousel slide. See a lot about this. You can continue. Once you're done, is going to trigger this section. That is basically how to install and download any scripts from Flutter's CodeCanyon.net, and using those commands you can run it. Thank you and see you next time.